I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. As part of our ongoing coverage on cybercrime, we recently spoke to several top experts about how they view the human threat to businesses. But before we check in with the CISOs, we caught up with Anna Collard, SVP Content Strategy and Evangelist at KnowBe4 Africa.
Regardless which report you reference, there's always social engineering or the human factor that will be in the top 3, top 4 attack vectors. Not necessarily because humans are the weakest link. I actually prefer to say that they are in the firing line. Because if we do manage to raise the level of vigilance or awareness, then humans can become one of the strongest defense mechanisms in our security chain. But the reality is that we are not robots. We are very much humans. We react to our emotions. We can be psychologically manipulated. We multitask. We get distracted. I myself fell for a phishing email the other day because I was multitasking, and I should be very much aware. So even if you have that level of awareness, that doesn't necessarily mean you show the right behavior. And we can't throw technology at that, or only technology. We have to also empathize that we are dealing with people here.
Global cybercrime damage is predicted to hit $10.5 trillion annually by 2025, according to Cybersecurity Ventures, and way too much of it stems from human error. When we spoke to Omar Khawaja, CISO at Highmark Health, a national health and wellness organization with more than $20 billion in annual revenues, he told us that humans don't always have to be a liability.
Humans have the potential to become the single strongest control in defending ourselves against our cyber adversaries. And so we put all our efforts into how do we move them from the liability side of the balance sheet to the asset side of the balance sheet. And so we've got strong belief that our humans and the people, the users in our environment, the employees, the contractors, that the partners that have access to our systems, if we do this right, they absolutely can be a pretty significant asset for us. And that's what we do.
Security culture varies across the world, but Jason Lau, CISO at Crypto.com, the world's leading cryptocurrency platform trusted by more than 80 million users, emphasizes that the human element of security should be a top priority for every organization.
It's not common, but I've got a dedicated team that focuses on the human element of security. It's not just about having endpoint identity and access management technical controls. You've got to go deeper into that because humans are humans. Humans will always find the quickest and easiest path to do something. And as a result of that, it could create risks for the user and also, for the companies.
With 88% of all data breaches being caused by human error, according to Stanford University, it is crucial for businesses not only to be aware of their employees' security habits, but also to correct them. Ian Anthony Baxter, Chief Information Security Officer, UK at Bank of Ireland, one of the traditional Big Four Irish banks, knows firsthand what can happen when employees are left unsupervised.
I did have a chairman who didn't like passwords, so had set his login to not require a password, and then he'd set the network at his home to auto log into the company network. So you could do a drive-by and log in as him right in his driveway and get right back into the company organization. And I thought that was hilarious, but absolutely true. And that's only 3 years ago that we kind of discovered it. And it was a discovery because I said, that can't be right. How is it possible? In the investigation, we figured out that some years ago it had been set up that way because that's the way he liked it, and no one said no to him back then. And here it was like a complete auto pass-through all the way back onto the corporate network, which was amazing.
So how can organizations protect themselves going forward? We asked Kathy Hughes, CISO at Northwell Health, New York State's largest private employer that is 81,000 people strong.
Security awareness and training is probably the most important thing that a CISO can do and is responsible for. And that's because there's really only two types of attacks. There's either a cyber attack, which can exploit a technical vulnerability in an operating system, software, or some type of hardware, or there's a social engineering attack, which exploits the human vulnerability or the person. But the last line of defense, even in a cyber attack, is the person behind the keyboard, because it just takes one person clicking on one link that bypasses all those technologies in order for an organization to really become crippled, and it could potentially have a severe impact on operations.
For more information on managing the human element of security, including the latest facts, figures, and statistics, which convey the magnitude of the cyber threat we're up against, visit us at cybersecurityventures.com. This special production is sponsored by KnowBe4. the world's first and largest new school security awareness training and simulated phishing provider that helps you manage the ongoing problem of social engineering. To learn more about our sponsor, KnowBe4, visit KnowBe4.com.